This is CoinGeek TV, and I'm your host, Kurt Wuckert Jr., joined by Adrian Grenier.
Hey,
How are you?
Hey guys, everyone.
So, your panel was great, but I want to back up from all of everything going on. Who are you? Why do you care? Why are you here today?
Who am I? That's a very deep question to start off with. So you might know me as an actor. Done some shows, some movies over the years, but I'm also an environmentalist. I've done a lot of work with the UN as their ambassador for the ocean, as well as I started an ocean conservation organization called Lonely Whale. And most recently, I'm taking my environmental work very personally and bringing it hyper-local, building a nature-based, heart-centered community out in Texas.
And that's really exciting. I did a little looking into that. I know you from Entourage and some of the stuff you've done, but looking into what you're doing in Texas, I just think that is such a great case for a technology solution to allow people to have a real, genuine community. How are you guys looking into technology, and whose job is that to look into tech in your community?
Well, we're very new and building, so it's mostly me and my partner at this point, and our dog and some chickens. But we're only about less than a year in the making. But yeah, absolutely, technology is going to play a very big role in helping us bring energy and effort to the community and be able to track and trace what people are contributing. In any community, you want to have the tools to exchange value. And so looking at crypto as an exciting new innovation that can actually help us not only be more transparent about what people are making and how they're contributing to the community and the ranch, but also keeping that value local, keeping it stored locally so that we're not sending a bunch of transaction fees out into the centralized bank or wherever,
For sure.
the middlemen.
Yeah.
So
it's a brilliant problem to work toward, and truly great people rise to these great opportunities. But the measurement of value and resources and time, George Gilder was just talking about time price, which is a concept he came up with a number of years ago. But what are you looking for? Like, what's the real metric for you guys to say we've done it, and here's the goal? Is this just keep getting better over time, or are you looking to accomplish some specific thing in the community?
Yeah, I think we, as humans, we crave certainty, and we just want to lock down. So, the dollar, our current currency has been established over however long. So people just want to, find their security and safety in that system. But we are on the forefront of what's possible, and on that. It's an adventure. We're pioneering in many ways the unknown. So I don't really crave that. I do crave the certainty, but I forego it for a better possibility in the future. So I don't know what it's going to look like when we arrive, but we will take all the chances and we will open up to that and see what comes, because we are in a hyper volatile innovation stage. So, and I'm down for any new technology that's going to disrupt even what we know to be true today.
For sure.
So, yeah, I'm doubling down on innovation and competition, and let's go.
Well, speaking of breaking new ground and looking for new territory to conquer, you came to the event on Monday night where you auctioned off an NFT of a piece of art that you made.
Well, I didn't make it.
Of you, your likeness.
Yeah.
What was your experience like there? How did you feel about the event and auctioning off your first fully on-chain piece of art as an NFT?
Yeah, I'm still trying to get my head around the NFT world. I collect physical art, so it's a little weird. But I understand it's a way to track and and to validate the originality of that particular piece of work. And it really is, it's an art piece. And the theme I can really relate to, though, because it was one that I came up with that is about food freedom and nutrition independence. And the image is of me holding an enormous sweet potato that we grew and a watermelon, like the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
And the idea is true freedom is health. Health is wealth. So I think it's a great theme for this particular. I mean, what about like food as a currency?
There you go.
Because it's very valuable.
Sure.
Healthy food is very valuable.
Well, and it's funny that you can use a global ledger, like what we're here to talk about is BSV at this event, and what we keep talking about as a community is this ability to tokenize everything. I've often joked about tokenizing every coffee bean that I consume.
Oh my gosh.
As a coffee drinker, and people chuckle, and it is out there, but ultimately being able to do that and figure out, well, who grew it, who picked it, who shipped it, make sure that each of those people get what they deserve for the work that they did.
Yes.
And then tracking that chain of custody and understanding this is actually good coffee that I'm drinking. And so these are the things that we want to move toward. And with your NFT, other platforms don't have the artwork on chain, for example. They give you a hash, but the art is sitting on Amazon server somewhere. And then that has its consumption cost and things like that. So I'm curious, what got you interested in the first place with the technology part of it? Because I think people think of the sort of homesteading and these things as very unplug, disconnect. Why the technology solution? Is this, how do you marry those two, or why?
Well, I mean, homesteading is very much an effort to become more self-sufficient and more autonomous, more sovereign. And this technology is just yet another opportunity for us to continue to own our, can we curse here? Own our stuff.
Do it.
Own our manure.
Let's tokenize it.
Yeah. I mean, we want to be even more independent in how we exchange value with one another. We don't want a middleman coming in and telling us, or the centralized bank printing more money and devaluing what we own. So it gives more power to us as individuals and allows us to be more responsible for ourselves and our neighbors and our community.
This is great. I love when people use the word sovereign, so I'm really excited to hear that come out of your mouth. And it sounds a little political for you, the central bank problems, and some of these things are problematic, and I would tend to agree with you. Can we disrupt our way all the way out if we can show the way? Is that the goal, is to get everybody to move that direction, or is this innately small community stuff?
Hey, look, don't be naive and you have to be, I guess I'm getting to that age where, I don't want to be too disruptive, youngins.
Yeah.
I know you want to destroy the whole system and tear it all down, but let's, actually respect and appreciate the current system that we have and what it's done for us, and recognize that we can't just dismantle it altogether. We first have to build a better paradigm, and that is what we're doing. So, I wouldn't say it's going to be a small community if it works.
Yeah,
it will quickly replace the old paradigm, but don't rush it. Like we want to get it right. And so this is the opportunity for us to make big mistakes, innovate, compete, and then whatever best solution comes out of it will do its job and just naturally replace the old system.
Absolutely.
We won't have to do anything at that point.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Good ideas breed themselves, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So as a creative professional, we talk a lot about digital rights management, and typically that's also very top-down. There are controllers involved there. But with this technology, it allows you to own your art in, a piece of image, but as an actor, video work, and all these different things. Do you see the next generation of actors perhaps being able to own their own stuff and distribute content directly on chain and all of that? Absolutely.
I'm very excited about what crypto technology can do for content creation, ownership, and profitability over time. So right now, like in the music industry, you need to, have a whole organization, ASCAP or BMI, whatever, to go actually retrieve and get your royalties.
Yeah.
With blockchain, you don't have to do that. It just goes right to your wallet.
Yeah.
Right. So more empowerment for the creators, more direct relationships with consumers, cutting out the middlemen, cutting out the gatekeepers.
Yeah.
And that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I have to ask, how was your experience working with the Fabric X people and getting this done, putting your stuff up for auction?
Oh, it's been awesome. I am pretty naive about the whole thing, so I needed some walking through. I needed some hand holding.
For sure. Well, that's great. Where can we learn more about all the stuff you're up to, Adrian?
Well, as of now, it's still just social media, Instagram, Adrian Grenier. You can also follow at EarthSpeed. I'm creating another channel that's tracing my experience on the land, a lifestyle at the cadence of nature. Check us out.
That's awesome. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Everybody, CoinGeek Conference has been a blast, and a lot of it has made its way onto social media with Twitter and some of the crazy stuff going on. In fact, there's been full body scans going on in the vendor booth, and there's an NFT Kurt floating around, a complete 3D model of me. But we can go through some of the stuff happening on Twitter today. The first one was Rory McDonald, another guy who participated in the launch of the Fabric X NFTs. He spoke on a panel earlier. He's having a blast here in the BSV community, sharing stuff on Twitter. We also had Brian walking around with his blockchain detective badge, getting himself scanned in 3D as well. Elon Musk was actually shown from Pearsend. He was sent some BSV, so we'll see if he's capable of going into claim and do all of that jazz. But that was a fun one to see on stage. And then, well, there was me. This is my 3D body scan. They threw me on. First thing this morning, I came in early, and Robert Rice, the head of Omniscape, said, "Kurt, hop on this thing and stand still. Give me a good flex, and we're going to show you what you look like as a 3D NFT." And ultimately, they scanned me, and I didn't get beamed away. So it was really good to survive. I wasn't sure exactly what was going to happen at all. So there's that. So yeah. Holy cow, it's Phil Runyan.
Not Adrian Grenier. Surprise.
No longer Adrian Grenier. How you doing, Phil?
Good, good. That was actually that 3D machine you zoomed in earlier. Technically, I've been here the entire time.
Ah, fascinating.
Indeed. Science, right? You can believe in it.
Phil, what's your favorite thing you've seen today? Let's just do that. Favorite thing today. Where are we at?
So getting back to Robert Rice and stuff that he's doing with Omniscape, first and foremost, you couldn't ask for like a more genuinely nice human being, and the fact that you couple that with this amazing technology that they're doing in the metaverse space, I'm just so excited. I've had a really great opportunity to travel the globe with him, and you as well, over the course of the last year. And every time I sit down and talk to him, just the best thing you can do is shut up and just let the man work, because you're kind of like, tell me another story. I mean, it's really it's impeccable, and I absolutely love Robert. So I'm very excited for him.
Well, and everybody was really excited about that whole thing. I mean, there's been a line all day of people getting 3D scans. So I imagine across Twitter we'll see a number of 3D people in weird 3D spaces across social media for the next week or so. My favorite actually was the Relica presentation. A lot of people know I'm good friends with the Twetch guys, and I always I'm excited about Twetch 3 coming soon, the whole thing. But what they're doing with geolocation seems like something they could be working with Robert on also. But geolocation-based token snagging and NFTs. Hey, grab this thing, grab a coupon, show us you were here. What do you think, as a person yourself in like the enterprise space, where do you think that these things are going to start to make their way out into the real economy? Do you think it starts and then grows out of the low level, the social, the retail? Or do you think all of a sudden there will be a big enterprise thing, and then that everyone will say, oh, shoot, I should have been there?
Sure. At the end of the day, in this space, we, as solutions people, we tend to build solutions for our own space, which is, you have to start somewhere, right? Without democratization of these tools and these services, without making it easy for grandma to be able to easily go and say, aha, I've got a taco here, right? Like in Miami, which was a really cool AR project that Robert assisted with. If grandma can't do it, like the ability to get millions of people every single day to interact with these tools and services, they're not going to be able to do it. And so until we really, remove our mindset of building crypto tools for crypto people and think, how do we actually build this for everybody else, which is our philosophy at Veridat, as well as at Nifty Co. We want to make these things so accessible without forcing somebody to deal with the nuances of this technology that we all love, and that's the problem. We all love it so much, and you want to like share with people. Like, there's nothing more annoying than somebody who has, kids, cats, Jesus, or Bitcoin, right? Like, you're gonna hear about it. Or if they hate clowns, like that's, I guess, the other one. Yeah.
Okay, all right. It's a good list. I may reuse that. And,
Please do.
give you credit. Tokenize it, and you'll get credit every time I use it.
Perfect.
Phil, can you tell us a little bit about Veridat? Like, what is it that you actually are doing here?
Did you just office space me? What would you say it is you do here?
Phil, I'm going to need you to come in on Sunday.
I deal with the customers, okay?
All right.
Is what it is. No, at the end of the day, again, getting back into democratization, data integrity as a whole is very important to every single one of us. Everything that we ingest, whether it be a pharmaceutical, our Subway sandwich that may or may not have tuna in it, the financial services that we engage in, right? All these things require that through compliance and through auditing, that people have provided data that is relevant, it's accurate, it's contemporaneous, it's in a certain order, there's a provenance to it. And all too many times, when you're talking about billions of dollars, I mean, I would do some much more crazier stuff for a lot less money, right? But these companies, either through poor decision-making trees or sometimes even accidentally. It's not that everybody out here is a bad actor. There's not always, the guy from the Balkans, smoking a cigarette in the background with his hair slicked back, waiting to dupe the world, right?
Yeah.
It's not that. It happens, right? Because a lot of our systems require people to manually write things down, to then turn around and try to enter it into these disparate systems. The handoff of data is all too often, especially in the world of pharmaceutical R&D, which is where we're spending a lot of time right now. And so our thesis is that if we can capture the data in real time as it's created before somebody has a chance to be a human, heaven forbid you be a human, right? We can then at least validate the state of data. We can show, look, this is what transpired on this day and this time, and this was the data or its digital twin, as you hear a lot in this space. And we don't require our customers to go get a wallet, go buy BSV, go figure out who's going to process your transactions, right? Our stack is already set and ready to go. These large organizations, they tackle it in a standard service level agreement. Again, getting back to democratization. These are tools, services, and processes they're already accustomed to. If I went to one of our pharmaceutical partners and said, so before you start, I need you to go pick a wallet, that like instantaneously, like the emails don't get answered anymore.
Sure.
Like that's it. They're like, we don't know a Phil Runyan here. That's not a thing.
So from a user standpoint, if I'm a Veridat customer, how is my data in my business going from whatever system it's in to your platform and then to the blockchain? Is it like a series of oracles? Are you connecting to sensors somewhere?
It's all API driven. So it depends on whatever your current business incorporates. So I'll give you an example. In the world of pharmaceutical development, one of our customers started rolling out this huge IoT platform where basically they've got all these IoT devices all over their manufacturing facilities and whatnot, and they're already collecting this data. It's part of their business, right? They're not saying, oh, we have blockchain now, so we should go ahead and throw copious amounts of money at this other stuff.
Yeah.
This was already in their pipeline. All we're doing is saying, look, we don't need you to enter data into two different places. Add us as part of your electronic lab notebook, as part of your existing data collection services, right? Your informatics. And as part of that, before it gets a chance to hit your database, where it can, again, people can accidentally delete things, people clean up data all the time. Before any of that can happen, we can at least validate the state and, again, the provenance of every single time that it's saved. So it's not about operating across multiple systems. We want you to use the things that you've been using this entire time, right? Like, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Keep the baby, keep the bathwater, keep the bubbles in it, right? We're just going to give you some extra things that you can, interact with, or better yet, fork your data so we also can get a version of that before anybody can, be human.
So Veridat's reporting will run in parallel to existing reporting in this space.
That's right.
Fascinating.
Yes.
One of the things you bring up often is actually developing world distribution. I don't know what is development like in a place like that, places like India or Pakistan. Do they have the ability to technologically report on that kind of thing, or are they just not manufacturing pharmaceuticals at all in these places?
Oh no, actually almost all of our generic pharmaceuticals come out of India and China.
Okay.
From a manufacturing perspective. If you're taking a generic right now, chances are it came from one of those two countries. And the problem with that is the reach of the FDA, especially in the our new normal, as we keep hearing, in the era of COVID, where the FDA doesn't have the ability to get in there frequently to be able to conduct these audits that they need to. So Veridat is actually this amazing solution where you don't have to be there. If data is being captured in real time and it can be permissioned to an auditor anywhere in the globe at any point in time, they no longer have to physically be there. Really what you're doing is you're validating whether or not is their system capturing data correctly. And so from a manufacturing perspective, whether it's putting together a simple web service, and when I say simple, I do mean that. We took a junior developer like 6 weeks out of a boot camp and said, here's an array of data that constantly updates. Could you just see if you can integrate this? And they did it in an afternoon. So we're not talking quantum physics here, right? I'm not talking about the Matrix. I'm not Robert upstairs with the LiDAR device trying to beam you up to another planet.
Yeah.
This is all very simple web-based technology that's been around forever, and anybody can interact with it.
Fascinating. Anything happening after pharmaceuticals? Like I imagine that there's a million manufacturing processes where you could integrate the idea and port it to a totally different industry. Do you have a roadmap there, or is this something that you're holding close to the vest?
So no, our roadmap has been really interesting. So we know and understand what the product is and the things that we need to build for all industries, whether you are a partner like, let's say, SaraScript as an example. There are additional tools and services for them to onboard their hundreds of customers, right? So this is not an industry-specific roadmap issue. This is just a product-related roadmap. From an industry perspective, though, the more we talk about it, the more we do these types of events and whatnot, people end up coming up to us. We have some very powerful people in the cannabis and the hemp area who are like, you know what? There is a huge problem in our industry, and this service would actually, allow us to not just right the ship that is here in the U.S., but also when you think of hemp and cannabis production overseas, how do you verify that these things have gone through the proper testing procedures to be able to bring them in once our own government pulls its head out of its backside and decides maybe federal regulation is a better mousetrap than allowing every single state to kind of do what they do.
Yeah.
So fintech, regtech, aerospace has even been interested from a supply chain perspective. I'm really happy that Adrian had brought up track and trace, because on the pharmaceutical side of things, when you look at your countries like India, lower middle income countries, they have this massive problem where you get a ton of money, you buy these pharmaceuticals, and when they make their way into your country, your supply chain I almost used a very horrible word. It gets run over, I'll say, and these legitimate drugs end up being sold in the black markets for exponential amounts of money. Fake pharmaceuticals, SSFFCCs, which is substandard, spurious, 2 Fs in counterfeit. Again, I gotta stay from that F word because it's gonna come out.
It's all right.
Okay, so then basically what we'll be able to do is that from a manufacturer, even in the value chain, from R&D all the way into manufacturing, so your value chain, from manufacturing to the actual injection, if it's a vaccine to the arm, your end consumer would be able to then scan in and go, I can see all these things transpired. And not just the consumer, but also every step before that, your pharmacist can validate that the manufacturer or the distributor is the right distributor who sent that. They're supposed to be getting this. It didn't just magically show up somehow in the supply chain, which happens too frequently.
Oh, I'm sure. So let's change gears a little bit. Phil, you've become sort of a staple of these CoinGeek events. I look forward to seeing you because of your rich sense of humor and other stuff. But I ask everybody, what's it like bumping into people in the hallways here? Have you made any interesting deals? Who's your favorite person you talk to? Let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the background and why people should come to these conferences.
Sure. These conferences are probably one of my most favorite things to do. And I've spent a ton of time in gaming, and that's fun. It's nowhere remotely close. And even in all my speaking engagements in gaming, nothing compares to this because the community here genuinely gives a shit. They want success, and they will help anybody by any means necessary to be able to do that. Again, I get back to Robert Rice, Stefan Nielsen. There's a handful of us where we've been traveling the globe, and we spitball back and forth. We think of new harebrained ideas, and if you even think you might have something that's worthwhile, or if you think you could work with a company here to be able to realize your idea, like we see that all the time. Every time you get off the stage, there's a LinkedIn message.
Yeah.
Dennis Schroeder from Sarascript. He gets off the stage. We went across the street and had a drink, a water, of course. And
at the Irish bar?
At the Irish bar, yes. It was Irish water. It's Irish
okay.
Topo Chico
Got
is what it's called. So and he's showing me his phone, and on here is a message from this woman who had seen his presentation, said, I really like what it is that you're working on, and I think we should talk. These things happen all the time. To say that there are opportunities here beyond just chit-chatting in the hallways would be an understatement of massive, size.
Well, and that's the beautiful thing. What I love about these things are like, there's probably 50 people in the room that could be C-level at any company in the world, and they've decided to take a step into this disruptive technology, take a little risk. Like, let's all work together and see if we can change the whole world with the power of the BSV blockchain.
Yep.
And it's inspiring. So, Phil, thank you for your energy, first of all, which you always bring.
Thank you, sir.
Where can people learn more about what you're up to, and what else can we look forward to like over the next 6 to 12 months from Veridat?
So first and foremost, where you can find us, so we are on LinkedIn at, linkedin.com, whack company, whack Veridat, I think is what it is, or whatever other folder structure they put in there.
Very well rehearsed.
Veridat.io is our website. As far as what you can expect from us is that we'll continue to build upon our token technology. As Victor Tang, while he was on the NFT panel earlier, that company Nifty Co., which I am part owner in, utilizes some of our token technology where we can not just BSV. We understand that in the world of interoperability, that means it's not just between Microsoft Azure and Amazon Web Services.
Yeah.
It's sometimes somebody's going to be adamant it's got to come from Hyperledger, and it may interact with our system, and it may need to go out somewhere else. And so we're going to continue to really harness that technology to make sure that when we use the word interoperable, it's not bullshit. It's legitimate.
Sure. Well, it's awesome. Phil, you're a G. Thanks for your
Thank you, sir.
thanks for being here.
Appreciate you.
Everybody, this is Phil Runyan from Veridat. But ultimately, we're all here to work together. So if you want to bug Phil, go ahead and bug Phil. If you want to bug me, go ahead and bug me. And there's a million other people, well, not a million, but there's a few hundred people here who would be happy to talk to you. And this is why you should come to CoinGeek Conference the next, which will be announced tomorrow. I'm not going to leak any information that hasn't been leaked. I'll stop talking about that. But CoinGeekConference.com is a really great place to join the virtual experience and check out what we're doing for day 3. And since it's the end of day 2, I may go to the place where you get the Irish water, actually, and have myself a little bit of fun after we hop off the air. So everybody, this has been CoinGeek TV. I'm your host for the evening, Kurt Wuckert Jr., and I will see you tomorrow for day 3 of CoinGeek Conference. Take care.
Reimagine the world's financial system. One built on being simple and fair, not one that's overcomplicated, outdated, and broken, and keeps a quarter of the world's population from accessing it. Reimagine your own finances. Do you have full visibility and control of your assets and investments? We believe there's a better way, a new future for financial services. One built on equal opportunity, where possibilities are limitless, not limited, and everyone can live the life to which they aspire. At Fabric, we're weaving a better future of finance for the billions locked out and the billions locked in. A safe, open, and fully transparent financial ecosystem built on innovative technology, where anyone can transform, hold, trade, and grow their assets, all in one accessible place. But this journey isn't ours to take alone. Are you ready to join in? To reimagine a better future with us? Where everything is digital and anything is possible. Fabric. Reimagine prosperity.
Data is double-edged. Wield it well and build your place in tomorrow. But trust it blindly and risk watching your progress crumble. Because much of the data we rely upon isn't reliable at all. At OnChain, we believe in data, but we put no faith in it. Instead, we build tools that enable enterprises to trust the data upon which they rely. OnChain, data without question.
Imagine in 1997 paying for something with your watch. Remember the last time you used cash? The world has been digitized. Almost.
Cash was once seen as the last bastion for reform, but now is on the decline. Digital transactions have outcompeted hard currency since 2017 in the UK, but breakthrough bold technologies like blockchain have revolutionized more than just money.
Disruptive technologies call for disruptive lawyers, ones that don't just accept the trend, but find new ways of interpreting the law. We are currently the only global law firm with a real track record in the area of Bitcoin and blockchain. We are results-driven and care only about securing the best possible result for our clients.
We trace the supposedly untraceable. We pioneer the future of law. We deliver new solutions. We are law changers.